Hey guys, Jonah here, back with the beer review. And it's Wednesday night, so I thought I'd go for something a little bit special. Well, one that I thought was special anyway. And it's a bit of a turbulent one, this, which is weird. So, it's from Wild Beer. And as I've kind of said before, Wild Beer has kind of gone into administratorship and then kind of come back out and has kind of been taken, or part of it's been taken over by Curious Brew. So they are still doing some brewing, tying things up. But will it still be Wild Beer? Not sure. But one of my standout beers, it didn't win Beer of the Year last year, was a beer from Wild Beer that I had at the GBBF last year, and it was called Thiols. And it was so crazy at that time they didn't even have a pump clip for it, so it was, yeah, it was brand new basically. And it was, yeah, very low amount of hops, but because of the interaction with the yeast and the special yeast that they were using, it made it really hoppy. So that was Thiols. Now I saw this in Sainsbury's the other day and I've not seen it before, otherwise I would have bought it. Look at that. That one is Wild Beer again, Cryology, a West Coast pale. Now, there is a thing that Yakima Valley have brought out, I believe, called cryo hops, which are T90 kind of pellets, but really concentrated. So it's ridiculously concentrated. So I thought that's what it might be. However, I read the side, and the side is basically why I bought this beer. So look, it's quite trippy. It's sort of weird. Looks like some sort of weird blue smoke on a yellow background. Oh, didn't do the normal thing. So 5 and a bit, 5, 5.5. There we go. And it's a 440 can. I believe it was £3.50, which I wouldn't usually pay, but for a beer that I think is interesting, we'll see. So, explosive and zesty sensation. Using groundbreaking, innovative brewing techniques, we've unlocked flavors from bound thiols found within hops. Mouth-watering beer bursts with fresh tropical aromas. It's bound to satisfy the taste buds. And obviously it doesn't go into huge amount of detail. It's got some oats in it, it's got some wheat in it, it's got some barley in it. It is not saying what the yeast is. And that, obviously, they're not going to tell you on the can. However, I'm finding it really difficult because of what's happening with wild beer at the moment to find out, one, what hops there's in here, number two, what the yeast is and how it's a kind of Cryology West Coast pale ale. And notice it says pale. It does not say IPA, although 5.5%. So I'm sure they could have got away with saying IPA. I am really looking forward to drinking this beer. So without further ado, let's get in. It has been in the fridge. I bought it Sunday. So it's been in the fridge for like three days. Bit of a pressure check. Yep, it's not going to explode on me, which is always good. And it's a 440 can. So basically this is an American pint, more or less. Right, we have the tulip glass. Let us get this bad boy in. Just realised I'm at more of an angle in the corner than I am usually, so you'll have to take that into account. There we go. It was pouring really clear, and then the bottom of it made it a bit hazy. So we have a finger's head, lovely, pure as the driven snow, white, fluffy carbon dioxide head, reasonably well carbonated, which is always nice. And if you've had some snow today, if you like my analogy there, yeah, we haven't had that much snow, but I had a bit of a flurry on the way into work this morning. So yeah, we'll do one of those for the front of this video. Oh, Yeah, fresh, fruity, dare I say mosaic, but could be a bit of citra in there too. And something else, which I'm not so sure of. Maybe this is a yeasty thing. I don't know. Yeasty boy. Anyway, look at the colour. Looks like a West Coast. Bit cloudy though, so it's in I guess the hazy style as opposed to a proper. Well, it's not a West Coast IPA. It's a West Coast PA. There's something else going on in there. Going to be interesting. Anyway, guys, cheers and beers for the Wednesday. Yeah, why not stick the heating on today because it's blooming freezing. Get yourself warmed up, enjoy a nice beer, and yeah, get on to the review. Come on. Wow. Wow. That is definitely very unique. Wow. Very interesting. A real hot presence, but not bitter. Like not bitter at all, which is bizarre. But it's got this creaminess going on. Um, I guess it's from the wheat and the oats, that kind of thing. And super smooth, like it goes, and then very quick. There's no aftertaste at all. Maybe that's because I put it in the fridge, but don't know. So flavour wise, there is some grass in there. There is some tropicalness. There is a little bit of zestiness in there too. Quite well carbonated. I apologise, dear viewer, for my burps, but that's what happens when you drink beer. So yeah, and you're probably used to it if you follow me. By the way, if you haven't followed me already, do me a favour, click like and subscribe down below. Follow my beer reviews because I try and upload one. I drink beer every day, but I try and upload every day, maybe every second day, that kind of thing. So if you're going to miss on one of these amazing beers, you might tune in next time when it's a mediocre beer, shall we say, but this one's a good one. Really fresh. There's a little bit of that kind of lotus thing going on too. So we got some high notes in there as well. I have to say, I can take a guess at the hops in here, but I've actually got no idea. Um, there's a mix. See, I'm getting something slightly different. I'm getting the more lotus. I'm getting more, maybe some of the wine, like the white kind of tropical fruits now. Um, Still a little bit of grassiness there. Dare I say citra, but it's so light. And something bizarre is going on in this. So I'm not sure what. Maybe they're using cryo pop, um, which is a Yakima Valley product, which is lots of different hops mixed together in different combinations, put into pellets. Maybe that's why they're calling it cryo beer, cryology. Not sure, but it's just this thing in the description here where it says we have unlocked hidden flavor from bound thiols within the hops. So that says to me that they are using this new yeast, which is extracting flavors from the hops, but basically you don't have to use so much of the hops, which is absolutely bizarre. But imagine you're a brewery and you're brewing hoppy beers in the modern style, so throwing lots of hops in there. But to save some money, you don't want to put so much hops in. Why not have a special blend of yeast? Because you can recycle yeast. Essentially, it's one of those things, and a lot of breweries, once they've got their yeast, they use it for years and years and grow it up because it is like it's an organism. I was going to say an animal. It's not exactly an animal. It's an organism that lives and breathes and feeds on sugar. Very interesting stuff. This beer is really nice. It's unlike any beers that I've had before. It's not even like the Thiols beer. It's something else entirely. Um, I'm going to have to try and find out some more stuff about this. Unfortunately, the beer review is purely about my senses because I can't give you exactly what's going on because it's been a bit hush hush. And because because Wild Beer have kind of gone through the motions of basically closing shop, I'd be very surprised if you can actually find out things about beers, unless you know people in the, know the Wild Beer guys. And there's my last sip. Oh, interesting. Yeah, a bit more zestiness, a bit more lemony kind of stuff from the last sip. Yeah, like a zest, but again, not super um, distinct flavors. All the flavors are they're there, but they're very light. When the beer's 5.5%, so it's like just bizarre. And you know what time it is. Look, line. 3 lines, 3 sips of a 440, bang on, if not an American pint. That is a fantastic beer. Like I say, freely available because I got this in Sainsbury's. Also in Sainsbury's is another beer that I'm going to review very soon. It's the Titanic Plum Porter. I managed to get that. They're selling it in bottles. So if you get down to Sainsbury's, definitely try that beer because it's fantastic on cask. It's a fantastic beer. Two guys I used to work with. Shout out to Stephen and Gren. Um, yeah, absolute fantastic. They used to love that beer. Absolutely brilliant. Anyhow, this has been Uncle Jonah saying shalom to you all. Oh, sorry, did I say Glenn? Sorry, I meant Greg. Greg. Forgetting people's names. I do know a guy called Gren, sorry, but it's not. It's Greg. Um, he is Scottish. That's why I'm saying it in that funny way. So sorry, man, I called you the wrong name. Stephen and Greg. Anyway, it's been Uncle Jonah drinking amazing thiolic beers. That, if you don't think about anything else from this episode, dear viewer, Thiols, remember that because they are definitely going to be mentioned a lot more on this channel. They're going to become mainstream. I guarantee they will. So you heard it here first. It's Uncle Jonah. We'll be back tomorrow with some more beer reviews. Probably going back to Spain tomorrow, to be honest, because we need to drink those up. And remember, it's only Wednesday, so why don't you drink some beer?